Hi there. Today I'm coming to you talking about menu planning. Yay! I have a love-hate relationship with menu planning, and I'll tell you why. I love menu planning because it saves you money, which it really does. It saves you time, I think, because then you walk in the grocery store, you get your stuff, you get the heck out of there. And it saves you from that feeling that you get when your whole family's like, Mom, what's for dinner? And you open the fridge and you're like, and you open the cupboards and you see a lot of things, but none of them make a meal. Or at least they probably do, but I don't see the meal when everybody's like, giving you the old eye, stink eye. So for that reason, I love menu planning. It does save you money. And I think when you're at the store and you don't know exactly what you're planning to make, you stand there looking at things, putting together meals right in the aisle, and I think that that's just a huge waste of time, and I hate the grocery store because the people, the people with the carts make me crazy. So for that reason, I love it, but I hate it because sitting down to try to come up with a menu for the week seems like a very simple task, and there are times when it's pretty simple. But it's like your family can only eat the same couple of meals so many times, and they're like, hey, soup was good the fourth time we had it, but could we please have something different? So I struggle with trying to find, recipes or meals, even ones that we've had a gazillion times. They're not right there in front of me. So what I have been going through the process of trying to simplify things in my life. I did it with bills, and I posted a video about that. I am doing it with menu planning because I need to menu plan. I'm not good at just winging it. It does not turn out well. And I've subscribed to emails, and I really like emails, but I can only try so many new recipes, and then I want to not do that anymore. And my family misses some of our old favorites. So, and once I had, I saved all of my emails things every week to my computer, and I even printed them and put them in a binder. So I have an emails binder, so I have a whole year's worth of email recipes. And so in a pinch, there's been times where I've actually just taken one of those weeks and used that. But I don't want to have to rely on that because I think I prefer to have a little more say on what we eat. There's times when we've had a meal that's just not, we didn't like it, but most of them are pretty good. And some of them have become family favorites. So I decided I needed to find a way to make menu planning just a little easier for me. Sorry, that was my phone. And what I came up with, and I searched the internet to see what other people were doing. And there's these women that just throw out a calendar at the beginning of the month, and they like plan their whole meal, and they just make the list as they go. And then they're like, great, now let's go to the store. And I'm like, no. That is not how that happens for me. That does not happen. I've tried it, and I literally, by the time I'm done, I'm like, I'm a mess. Because I can't come up with that many meals and then make a list. Oh, no, the whole thing gives me gas. So I needed to come up with something. And there's a lot of really great tips, and there's a lot of things that people do that are really good. Happy. That's my phone. And so I incorporated some of what I found, and I came up with my own little thing, and it's pretty simple, I think, and I wanted to share it with you because you might think it's simple too. This is a 99-cent dollar. It's not $99. It's 99-cent notebook that I got. I like this one because it's a 9.5 by 6, so it's kind of skinny and tall, and it's just a cheapo notebook. And it doesn't have perforated edges, which I also like for this purpose. On the inside cover, I wrote down the different categories that you would probably categorize a meal by and highlighted it a different color, except for this one is a star because it's easy anything, and that's for like hot dogs because seriously, what category does a hot dog fit in? It doesn't. So what I did was yesterday, I sat down, got out all my cookbooks that I use, that I know that I have recipes in. I got my recipe box out. I got my emails binder. I got all the things where my recipes live. And there are so many of them. No wonder. it was a headache, because I used to do that process every time I meal planned. I would sit with a pile of books and I'd be frustrated and it would drive me crazy. So what I did was I went through and I spent about an hour. And I'm not done yet, but the beautiful part about this is you can add to this as you find new recipes. And if you like them, add them to the book. And if you try them and you don't like them, don't even add them. That way they're not even an option again. So I knew that we liked these recipes and I found them. So what I did literally was just go through and write the name of the recipe. And then you see that I put maybe what I served it with. So like beef and noodles with broccoli, bread, and butter. Those are just some, like, that's not a requirement, but it's just a suggestion. So that way I don't have to really think about the side dish for that meal if I don't want to, unless I have something different. But that recipe is in my emails binder. It's on the 2-week meal sheet. There's a sheet in my binder that's called the 2-week meal sheet. So, okay, here's another one, for example. Down below here, you see the one for au gratin pork chops with a salad or veggie, and it's in the Taste of Home Cookbook, Volume 2, page 13. So I know right where to find that recipe. That was super duper important, because you write down a recipe and you're like, where in the heck did I put that? Because I've got stuff everywhere. I'd love to say I'm organized and it's all in cute binders. No, they're everywhere. But at least I know now where they are. And you see the little colored things next to each recipe. Depending on what it is, it gets a color. So if I have a bag of chicken in my freezer and I want to use it, but I need a chicken recipe, I simply flip through this book and all the chickens are yellow. And so I just look at the yellow ones to see what I can make with chicken. Same is true with all the other ones. Even crock pot. This is the last page where I started putting crock pots. I just put a C next to that so I know at a glance which ones are crock pot recipes. Excuse me. So this way you don't have to worry about organizing the recipes by like pork and beef. You don't have to have a whole section, because you'll end up with a lot of empty space in between and you might need more space. I've done that before with a book. I was trying to make my own cookbook and I ran out of space for beef recipes, and then I was like, well, now what do I do? So this way you can simply add them as you find a new recipe. Just add it to the end of the list and then highlight it whatever color it is, for what type of recipe it is. I left 2 lines in between each one so that I could write the information about the side that goes with it if I want one, and where it's located if it's someplace other than in my head. And some of them don't have anything. You know, like pork roast. I could put some more information on pork roast, but for right now there's nothing there, and that's okay. Or pot roast, not pork roast. Sorry, I can't read. So I did this, and here's one that you see has lots of colors on it. It's a soup that I make, and it's a vegetable-based soup, and it's got beans and things in it, and you can add sausage or pork or beef or anything to it. It's very versatile. So that's a nice one to see, because then I can really make anything out of that. So I started out originally highlighting the whole thing, and then I thought, you know, I would add other little dots to them as I needed, but that looked really messy to me. So I switched that up real quick, as you can see. So the first page, is not as pretty, but this makes it really simple, I think. And then when I plan my meals, I have a little notebook that I carry around with me everywhere. What I have been doing, and this will make this process so much easier, I just write the dates that I'm planning meals, which is usually 7 days. I just write out 7 different meals and separate them with lines, and I don't even assign them to a day, because I like to be able to pick and change things. So if I feel like there's a day that needs to have a certain meal, I'll just write it and circle the date, you know, if it's Monday, Wednesday, or whatever. And then that basically is my meal planning, and this is going to make it so much easier. I'm excited to try this with my next meal planning. If any of you decide to try something like this, let me know what you think, and I will do an update to let you know how this worked. So I will see you later. Have a good day.